Okay, let's take a look at a comic book with one of my favorite superheroes in it, Jack of Hearts. I like Jack of Hearts just because I like him. I don't know why. I've liked him and quite a few other people since I was a kid. I think it's because even as a kid, I did not like what everybody else liked. I wanted to have something that was more like for me, that I guess like the underdog. I don't know. While everybody else is like Superman, I'm like Green Lantern, and everybody else is like Hulk and Spider-Man, I'm like Jack of Hearts and Stingray. I just find them more interesting. Jack of Hearts I find interesting because, well, he's very complicated. He's got armor that seals in his energy. He has half of him, he's like half and half, kind of like those Star Trek people that have half black, half white. You know, I don't know, there's a lot appealing to him visually. And then just the fact that he's got so many complicated things to him. He's not just like one power or whatever. So this is the Marvel premiere featuring the Jack of Hearts. This is number 44, back in the 35-cent day. I think this is a 1978 comic from October. And it says, because you demanded it, the Jack of Hearts blasted into solo action. So one of the things I do like about Marvel is that they catch you up on some stuff if you are not reading every single comic book they put out. And especially with Jack of Hearts, because he didn't have his own comic book until he had like a 4-issue miniseries, and that was it. So he appeared in quite a few other comics before he got to this point. And even in this one, he's not going to be in the next issue, unfortunately. Also, it's interesting, Bad News Bears went to Japan. I've never seen that one. I have to keep an eye out for that one. I've definitely seen the Bad News Bears movie and TV series. It was right up my alley. It was, you know, what's really interesting is the TV series has one of the two Coreys on it. I was like, whoa, that's like the earliest appearance of the Coreys I can remember. But then again, he's my age, so it's just really crazy. All right, so back to Jack of Hearts. It's talking about in the past, and it says, see Iron Man 113. So, there, I got to put that on my checklist to make sure I find all these issues. He was in Iron Man for quite a while, so he's trying to get back home. And while he's trying to get back home, these guys are like, hey, look, we need some help here. It's like, oh, he ain't going to listen to us. He's one of these superheroes. He's dealing with busy things. And he's like, all right, whatever. He goes over there and he's like, he rescues these people, making himself into a flare, helping somebody get out the water. And then he's like, oh, I didn't know you could hear me say that. It's like, yeah, I can. And, you know, he's like, what's your name? And he slid him a little card. So I don't like the card thing. I hope that's a gimmick that goes away really quick, because it seems kind of silly to slide somebody a card. It seems like something the Joker would do. You know, Jack of Hearts, Joker. Anyway. Oh, Slim Jims. I've eaten some of those recently. I don't know if they've changed, but they taste more like plastic than they never did. I don't remember them tasting like that as a kid. Ices. Was that a 7-Eleven thing? Oh, anyway. There's really a lot of ads in here. Amazing amount of ads. When he gets back to his house, somebody from SHIELD, the Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division, that's a mouthful right there, is now his butler, and he's actually going to help him to, you know, get his body into regulation, because one of the things that's hard for Jack of Hearts is he can't control his power all that well, because he has to wear a suit in order to contain the energy. But, well, you'll find in a minute, there's a mist that Iron Man made for him. And also, to help you to catch up on it, here's a little background information. He's going, all right, the card, you know, the Jack of Heart cards, he gives him some more of those. Master Heart, his name is actually Jack Hart, H-A-R-T, like Heart to Heart, the TV series. So it triggers some memories about his dad, of Philip Hart's death at the hands of the criminal cartel called the Corporation. Of how bathed in the seething energies of his father's zero fluid. So this is his origin, basically. He got his powers from the zero fluid. He gained the power beyond measure, you know, like power cosmic. And then he used that power to wreak vengeance upon the Corporation. Made a few mistakes along the way, like when he had to fight the White Tiger, which was, you know, you always see new hero fighting traditional hero, and then, you know, it's a one of those comic tropes that anybody new has to fight against the bigger guys. That was in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, and I think that was the first appearance of Jack of Hearts. So Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 23, put that on my checklist of things to get. And then Tangling with the Incredible Hulk. That's in Hulk 214 through 215. All right, put that on my checklist of things to get. All right, but for a short period, he was training with the invincible Iron Man. He taught him about his power and responsibility, and that actually lasted for quite a few issues. I mean, this is almost a year We're talking about 103 to 113. That's 11 issues. Yeah, that's pretty much a year's worth of issues, because I think even back then, sometimes you see comics that are like not monthly. They're like monthly except for this month and that month. It's like 10 times a year. I don't know. I mean, that seems like it was early 70s. Strong arms. All right. I used to really wish those x-ray specs worked. Oh, well. All right, so here's the mist that he can put on the mist, and for 60 minutes, 1 hour, he doesn't have to have the armor on. So he gets him a chance to take off his clothes and relax for an hour. I'd be a little concerned because nothing's perfectly aimed at an hour. I mean, I'm just, He gets a letter from Hemlock. Now, it's perfume, so he's like, it must be a girl. No, this ain't no lady. Hemlock's actually a dude, but whenever I read Hemlock... Oh, the spider car. Ooh, oh, man, Mego figures. All right, so when I read Hemlock's voice, for some reason, I'm like, yes. It sounds like that guy off of, is his name Hexadecimal's the girl. Whoever the bad guy is in Reboot, I, for some reason, have my brain... That voice is in my head when I read him. It's like, and yet, this game is somewhat different. We want the prey alive. I don't know, it's just weird how my brain's reading his voice. Probably because he's wearing a fur, maybe. I don't know. I mean, his name is Hemlock. He's working in a flower bed area. He's got a big greenhouse. He's really into his flowers. Well, anyway, so the Jack of Hearts has got an invitation. He's going to accept it. Jack of Hearts doesn't know that this is basically a trap set up for him, because he's got to take him alive for the corporation. Well, one of the things he finds out is he doesn't need as much oxygen. So when he throws the gas thing at him, that ain't going to get the Jack of Hearts down. He doesn't need oxygen like humans do. He needs a little bit. Now, this is one thing I thought was cool when I was a kid. When his face doesn't, like, it's not just black, it actually turns into like computery looking. I always thought that was really neat. And then this is really cool right here. I think I printed this out one time because I was like, they're never going to create an action figure for him. So I printed out like a paper doll just to have something for him and Rom and a few other superheroes like Stingray, that at the time I was just like, there's never gonna make an action figure. So I printed out probably that size right there, about the 3 3/4 inch, because back then it was Marvel Universe. I was collecting the 3 3/4 version. I was like, well, if they're not gonna make a Jack of Hearts, I'll just make a printout, make a paper doll. I got the idea because my neighbor, who also played with Barbies when I was a kid, and that's how I got into Barbies, she had paper dolls, and they were kind of like stand-ins because her mom wouldn't let her have any Ken dolls. No. She's a very religious woman, and she didn't want her girl to have any Ken dolls because she might, see his naked body, which is really nothing when you really think about it. But, what, to each his own. All right, so, wait, she had a Sean Cassidy doll. Huh. All right, maybe I'm thinking of Becky across the street. All right, so anyway, I don't know, but I know this is a side issue. Anyway. So they're fighting, of course. There's that fighting going back and forth. And the spade, which is like a heat seeker. And then super prizes. This is a really cool splash page. Look at that. You know how it's going to go. They're going to fight. And see, what he does is, he's like, the guy doesn't hurt himself. But he's like, you blithering nit. You destroyed my prize orchards. Now I'm starting to sound like I'm German. They took me years to breed. Now I can't do it anymore. I was thinking in his voice, but now I'm thinking in German. Like, yeah, I'm Hans and Franz. So, he's more concerned about his flowers than it is on his own life. He's like, well, either you talk and tell me everybody, or I'm going to start killing off all your plants. All right, so that's how he gets the information out of him. So he talks, gives him the information, and next issue is not going to be him again. It's going to be Manwolf. So where does it go from there is what I like to know, because it's like, it's got to go somewhere. Probably they just wanted to do a 1-issue run to see how it went and see if it sells really well, because back then you voted with your money. You didn't subscribe to comics as much as nowadays as people would. Back then, you just, whatever you saw on the newsstand that you thought looked cool, you grabbed it. I was looking for the information where that picture was, because it may tell a little bit of what's going on next. But yeah, I love Jack of Hearts. So let me know in the comments below if if you've read this one, if you knew where it was going to go next. I really feel like this was like their way of saying, testing the waters to see if it's going to be a good one. And it may be that the 4-issue miniseries was right after this. This was what, 78? It's always hard to find. Copyright 1978. It's got a cover date of October, so that would be in the summer of 78. So after that, I mean, I'd like to get a chronological reading of Jack of Hearts and, of course, Stingray. So, yeah, I would like to know if you know anything about the back issues and other information as well. So anything you want to comment below, I'd love to hear from you guys. It really makes me happy to hear comments because that means that you're actually paying attention. I try to always leave comments on your videos, so if I watch any of your videos. And thanks for watching. I won't blather anymore, but have a wonderful day.